Hello, I'm Beth Joey and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is a channel where I paint my face, turn my camera on and talk about some books. It is time to finally read all the library audiobooks and everything that I have currently sitting in my borrow box, in my Libby, in my everything else that have just been sitting there, and there are a couple days away from those loans expiring, so it's time that I need to go in and read them. This vlog is all about reading the books that I have borrowed from my library. Because I do have to head off to work, it is 7:10 in the morning and I have to be out of the house by like 7:15 at the latest. I'm just gonna crack straight in with the first book that I'm gonna be reading, which is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. There's a bookmark in here. It's just for the first page. I haven't started reading it yet. As for what this is about, it says, it started with a kiss. Wren Beaumont is beautiful and kind. She always gets good grades and is loved by everyone at Lancaster Prep. Everyone but brooding campus bad boy, Crew Lancaster. Ooh, so it's school, but it's also like enemies to lovers maybe, rivals to lovers, dunno, hate to love maybe. Crew is rich and handsome. His life is meant to be easy. But when you have an overbearing father and your family own the school, the pressure to be the best makes life harder than everyone thinks. And he certainly doesn't have time for innocent girls who only care about their classes. Girls like Wren Beaumont. Ooh, so I'm thinking hate to love. But when unexpected chemistry disrupts psychology class in school? Bloody hell. Wren discovers there's more to life than good grades, and Crew finally understands what it's like to be in love. Steamy, romantic, and totally addictive, this is a love story for everyone who believes that true love really does happen when you least expect it. I am so keen for this. I don't know why, but I love like high school romances. I think there's something so sweet and young and naive about them, where like they're not in the real world, but they think that high school is their whole world. There's just something about that setting that I really love. So I'm really keen to jump straight into this book, and I'm going to do that on my way to work this morning. So I'm gonna head out because I need to go to work, and I will catch up with you in a bit. I've got netball tonight, so it might be a fairly late update. Not that you guys will know the difference, but it might be a fairly late update tonight, and it'll be no makeup, and it'll probably be me looking real gross after netball. So look forward to that clip. I'm gonna head to work and I will see you in a little bit. Morning everyone. It is Wednesday morning. I have literally just rolled out of bed because I need to start work in about half an hour, and I really did not feel like going to the gym this morning because frankly I was exhausted because I went to bed at midnight last night because the washing behind me put it on really late and realized that I couldn't just let it sit in the washing machine, and I shouldn't have put another load on. I had to wait until obviously it was done so I could take it out and hang it up and everything, and that was midnight. So regretted that decision greatly because Ben was also like staring at me from across the room like, why did you do this? Like, I was such a busy day, and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think when I put the second load on. I thought it would be done a lot faster. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I wanted to quickly update you guys before I start work for the day on how I'm going in A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I'm 238 pages in, and I just want to read you a very brief little experience that I had while I was reading the first 50 or so pages of the book while I was on my way to the office yesterday, because I was working from the office yesterday. I wrote on my notes app everything that I was thinking as I was thinking it. So I'm just gonna read this to you, and yeah, well, you can see the train of thought, but anyway, here we go. My God, this book is creepy. The teacher, vomit emoji. The whole thing is very cliche so far and written very immaturely, very misogynistic descriptions and desires from women, girls who just whine because their birthday's on Christmas and they don't feel special, popular rich guys who every single girl in the school fawn over, popular rich girls who every girl and guy in the school seem to fawn over, best friends who ditch each other because a teacher switches his preference. It's all over dramatic and the writing is so immature, so cringe. Is this school full of rich kids? Sorry, I couldn't tell. It's only been mentioned a million times. Oh my God, these teachers are way too involved in their students' lives. I'm a good girl. I don't like sex or swearing. All the other girls are sluts and I'm so different. This book is giving bloody whiplash. It's jumping around and escalating so fast. Why are all these men afraid of tears? And how does a couple of interactions with Crew result in Wren wanting to change her whole personality? SA anyone? Jesus Christ. Somehow, some other guy having a sex tape of a girl makes them a sleaze, but threatening a girl with said sex tape being released is totally fine. This book is all kinds of messed up. She's described as if she's some kind of pinup doll, and That was just the first like 50 pages of the book, and it honestly hasn't gotten that much better in terms of content. It is definitely a very addictive read. It's something where like I didn't take my lunch break like at work yesterday. I literally, the reading that I've done, the 238 pages, is on the train on the way to work and on the train on the way home and waiting for my netball game to start, and then just once I got home because I had netball last night as well. That is how quick of a read this is. It is so speedy. I've been listening to the audiobook on like 2.5 times speed, but the audiobook kind of makes it more cringy. The one thing I will give this book credit for actually is I find a lot of the times with dual POV audiobooks where they do have two different narrators, one for the guy, one for the girl. When the guy puts on the girl's voice for her dialogue when it's in his POV, it can be really cringy, and vice versa, same with when the female narrator puts on the guy's voice, it can be super cringy. These guys make it sound a little bit more natural. The female audiobook narrator is a little bit more cringy with when she puts on Crue's voice, but I think she just makes it deeper and more scruffy, and for some reason makes him really nasally. But the guy audiobook narrator, he's not doing that thing that like male audiobook narrators often do where they make the female's voice like really super high-pitched and squeaky and it just sounds really fake and ridiculous. He's actually just kind of talking and just slightly upping his pitch. So I really appreciate that that's kind of more natural and doesn't want to make me giggle. I'm getting visceral reactions from reading this book. Like so often, I swear people in the train are looking at me weird, like people at the netball courts are looking at me weird because I couldn't stop like smiling and laughing and giggling at just the level of cringe, the level of ridiculousness. Like it's that typical almost Wattpad style writing where the girls are all like, oh, she's a bitch, she's a slut because she's talking to the guy that I like. And I'm like, what? How does it, what? The logic isn't logicking. And like these guys are like, oh, we're such bad guys. We smoke weed on school campus, but we have to chase down this girl so that she doesn't tell anyone about it and borderline SA her so that she knows she can't tell anyone. Like, what the hell? That was so weird. And then the guy's just like, oh, you're liking this. And the girl's like, get off me, like get the hell off me. So that was an interesting experience. And I mean, I do kind of like the character growth that's happening in this story for Ren because her exposure to Crue, to his friends, to the fact that her parents aren't good people is really changing her and making her more open, making her more willing to have a sort of normal high school experience by, you know, going out, having boyfriends and thinking about sex and all these sorts of things. But just kind of the way it's going about, like the way Crue is convincing her or like communicating with her is like borderline stalkerish. Like he finds out that another guy is going to be at her parents' place for dinner one weekend, and so he's like, nah, I'm not letting that happen because that guy's a dickhead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show up at the art gallery opening that she's going to be attending, and I'm going to try and distract her for the whole day so that come dinner time she's not home so I can just keep hanging out with her. I'm like, you don't think she's gonna like notice when it gets to 6 p.m. in autumn and it starts to get dark and she's not home? Like she's gonna notice that it's time for her to go home. She's gonna see, at the very least, see the light change. If not, notice the fact that she's spending hours and hours and hours with you and she doesn't have hours and hours and hours. So that was just weird. It's a weird book. It's so weird. It's so toxic. It's so like rich girl, rich guy problems, which don't get me wrong, the problems these guys are facing are very, very real. It does touch on sort of predators on social media and how young girls are being preyed upon on their social media profiles with people pretending to be people that they're not, catfishing, all that kind of thing. It doesn't touch on it in any way that is genuine and really delves into it and really examines it. It's just sort of passing commentary that gives backstory to why Ren is so closeted, I guess, by herself and by her parents. That is my thoughts on A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I'm probably gonna have finished it by the next time I update you because it's such a quick read. So I'm gonna go get to work and I will update you with my thoughts in a little bit when I have something more to say or when I finish the book, and probably give it a very bad rating. Hey, it is lunchtime. I am looking like a little bit of a mess because I've just put on like the lightest bit of concealer to try and cover up the fact that I'm breaking out at the moment, and a tiny bit of mascara. And I've realized that my concealer is like 60 shades too light for me. So I'm looking like a little bit of a ghost. I have not brushed my hair, but you know what? Don't care. I've changed from one set of pajamas to another after having a shower. So you know what? It's a work from home day, we're taking it easy. But reading update. A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I am 280 pages in, so I've read like another 40 pages since I last updated you. I read a little bit before I started work, and then I read a little bit more at the beginning of my lunch break, and I'm DNFing this. I am so tired of these characters. I'm so tired of this book. Firstly, one thing I've found that I'm getting really frustrated by is there's these elements about all of the characters that are introduced, and they're introduced as such core elements to these characters. Like Ren loves art. She's obsessed with art for about 10 pages. And then she never mentions it again. Never again. She is distraught by her parents' divorce because it means she's gonna lose her art. And then once they kind of resolve that situation, she never mentions art again. And I'm like, but it was positioned as like this really, really core part of your character, and now you just like don't care. And the relationship between them isn't even that intriguing anymore. Like they break the tension like really early on. I think this book is probably way longer than it needed to be. Like the tension has broken at the 280 page mark. It broke at about 240 pages. And then I think they should have gone straight into the third act conflict. They should have come out of that, and the book should have ended at like maybe 300 and something pages, like 320 pages max. But no, it's 530 something, 533 pages. I have another 150 pages left of this book, and I just can't think of anything worse than reading it. I'm gonna put this down, and in terms of what to read next, I have a few options. So we can start with, I've just got all the books right here, so I'm grabbing them off. We can start with Blood and Honey, which is the second book in the Serpent and Dove series. Again, massive chunker of a series. I'm very, very intrigued by this series. I really, really love the first book. It's about a witch and a witch hunter who are forced into marriage in order to protect both of them, I guess. And the whole world just escalates from there. It's set in a world that's kind of ruled by a kingdom that has been persecuting witches for all time, and naturally there's like a witch rebellion going on, which so happens to be led by the main character's mother, who seems to be set on assassinating her daughter in order to like reclaim control of the kingdom or something. It's just messy as hell. Like there's a lot of secrets, lies, betrayals, but it has the most swoon-worthy hero who, despite being lied to throughout the entirety of the book, still believes in honor and integrity and is willing to stand by his wife. And there's a beautiful romance in there as well. So it's definitely like enemies to lovers. Really, really excited by this series, though I have heard that people did not like the second book. They thought it was such a filler book, didn't need to exist. And then the third book they thought could have been wrapped up in a lot shorter amount of time. So not sure on these. The next book that I could read is This Fisher's Grace by Emily Teed. This is the Fairy Loot exclusive edition of this story. So we've got this beautiful yellow cover. We've got sprayed edges. What else have we got? We've got beautiful design on the end paper. Is it different on the other side? Yes. Ooh. Different design on the other side of the end papers. This beautiful brown and gold foiling on the hardcover, which I think is just stunning. Like, look at that character, look at the shine, look at the way the brown complements the gold. I think it's also, yep, it's also signed, and yeah, I think that's all the... I love a map, and I think this map is really cool because it's like, it's not a map so much as it is just like something for the reader to visualize when they're imagining the city, and I think it's really interesting. I've never seen that done before, where they're like, you know, here's the map, here's the context, but this is just what I want you to visualize. I love that, and it gives me very like Italian vibes. But anyway, as for what this is about, I'm going to read the blurb, and it says, Alessa's gift from the gods is supposed to magnify a partner's magic, not kill every suitor she touches. Now, with only weeks left until a swarm of demons devours everything on her island home, Alessa is running out of time to find a partner and stop the invasion. When a powerful priest convinces the faithful that killing Alessa is the island's only hope, even her own soldiers try to assassinate her. Desperate to survive, Alessa hires Dante, a cynical outcast marked as a killer, to become her personal bodyguard. But as rebellion explodes outside the gates, Dante's dark secrets may be the biggest betrayal. Dante holds the key to Alessa's survival and her heart. Is he the only person who can help her master her gift, or will he destroy her once and for all? So this is definitely a very strong contender because, I mean, it sounds like a bit of an enemies to lovers, if not hate to love. There's definitely very, very high stakes with her whole island trying to kill her and her magic just going all haywire. I think this is a standalone, but I'm not sure. Let me find out. Okay, it's not a standalone. I don't know why I thought it was. The next book in the series comes out in December. I don't know if it's a duology, trilogy, whatever it may be, but it's the beginning of a new series. So that is definitely a vote against it because I am trying to reduce the number of series that I'm in the middle of, because I always find that when I want to read the second one, I have to go back and reread the first one and it's just inefficient. But anyway, that's book number 2. And the last option is Well, That Was Unexpected by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I recently read Dial A for Aunties by this author and I had mixed feelings about it. I think it was definitely charming and funny and comedic, and it had a nice little romance element in there, though I don't think that was well fleshed out. But I did find like the arguments and everything between the aunties got really, really annoying after a while. So I don't know if the comedic style of Jessie Q. Sutanto is my style, but as for what this is about, it says Charlotte and George's story starts how all good love stories do. They're catfished by their own parents. Mortified by her mother's matchmaking, Charlotte Citra agrees to one date with George Clooney Tanuwijaya, son of the most famous family in Indonesia. But when the media gets wind of it, things quickly spiral and the two families get swept up in a highly publicized romantic stunt where everyone has a role to play and a secret to keep. Set against the lush backdrop of Indonesia, this outrageously funny fake dating rom-com with a twist has all the glamour of Crazy Rich Asians with the family warmth and swoony romance of Bridgerton. Okay, so I am intrigued by this one, especially because it's baby short. This will be a nice, quick, easy one, and then I can jump into either this or, you know, the Serpent and Dove series. It kind of feels like this one is a good book to delay my decision making on the other 2 series. I think I might go with this one next. And I will let you know my thoughts in a bit. I think it's a YA romance, so it should be a nice, easy breezy fun time, and hopefully I kind of vibe with the comedy a little bit more than I have previously. And if I don't, then I'll just know that Jessie Q. Sutanto isn't for me. So let's crack straight into this one, and I will let you know my thoughts when I have some. So far, I am 55 pages into this book, and the comedic element is definitely hitting better than Dial A for Aunties did, but admittedly, there's a lot of just like parent hating going on, especially from Charlotte's point of view. She's just spending a lot of her internal monologue hating on her mother, which I don't love to read about because, you know, it's clear that, yes, those two do not get along. There's a lot of tension there. There's a lot of blame there for everything that Charlotte is kind of going through, you know, moving to Indonesia for the summer and everything. And that's fair enough. Like, you're allowed to be angry at your parents. But, like, she's hating her mum for things that, like, her mom's clearly struggling with. But I'm really loving just how entertaining George Clooney's point of view is, and how he's just, him and his family are just so funny. Like, they're just in situations where, you know, they catch him, you know, being a teenage boy, and, you know, it's revealed to the whole family, and they're like, oh, we need to find you a girlfriend so that you don't do these, like, deviant things, and, like, you know, we'll set up a fake profile for you on this app. And, like, the situations they're finding themselves in are really comedic, and the way they're dealing with them are really comedic. But, so yeah, I'm loving George's point of view, but I'm not loving Charlotte at the moment. But hopefully George is gonna, like, reel her in and be like, dude, you need to be more grateful for your family, you need to be more understanding of your family, because your mom's clearly going through a lot. There's clearly a reason why she hasn't been back to Indonesia in 17 years. Like, you need to give her a break. I'm enjoying the book so far. For right now, though, I am going to finish my lunch break by heading out quickly to Canary Wharf, because I got to drop my library books back off at the library. So I'm gonna go and do that, and then I'll come back, get back to work, and yeah, I will update you at the end of the day again when I've read more of this book. But yeah, so far it's going really, really well. It's entertaining, I'm having fun. I'm gonna head out, drop off my library books, and I will see you in the next clip. my camera's on a bit of an angle because I've got it positioned on the couch, so apologies for that, but we are going to be going right ahead. I've been going back and forth about this for the past hour or so because this is not how I wanted to start this vlog. This is not how I wanted this vlog to go. This is not really what my plan for this vlog was. As you know, I'm currently reading Well That Was Unexpected by Jessie Q Sutanto, and I think I'm gonna DNF it, which is the second DNF in as many books in this vlog, which is really disappointing. You hope when you start a vlog that you're gonna love everything that you read, or you're gonna have interesting things to say about everything that you read, or you're gonna at least finish the books that you're reading. But I mean, I'm very much of the opinion this year that if I'm not enjoying something, I'm not going to spend the time on it trying to push through, trying to force myself to get to the end, to then give it a low rating when I could be reading something that I do enjoy, that I really am looking forward to reading, that I think is going to be really interesting and is going to excite me and make me keen to keep turning the pages. And unfortunately, that's not the case with this book. I think the biggest reason why I'm struggling with this read is because of the sheer amount of parent hatred and complaining and bitching that is going on from the main character, Charlotte, in this story. She doesn't have a nice thing to say about anything 99% of the time. And for me, like, I'm a character person. I'm a character and a plot person. Those are the things that I care about the most. And if I'm not connecting with characters, if I've got a main character that I'm supposed to be sympathizing with and I just think they're being really mean for no reason, then I'm gonna struggle through that read because I need to connect to that character in order to root for them, in order to root for their relationship, in order for me to think that relationship is well balanced. Like, at the moment, I'm thinking this George guy is lovely and adorable, and he clearly has feelings for her and is trying to struggle through that because she isn't sort of appearing and talking and communicating in the way that he's been seeing on this app. And he's trying to figure out what's going on there, whereas she's like, she gets whisked off to Bali for a event where she has to be George's fake girlfriend, essentially. And she spends the whole time that she's there complaining about the fact that this was sprung on her. And like, I get that. Like, it sucks that this whole situation has been sprung on you. You've had no control, but like, you're in Bali. You're in a beautiful hotel. You're having amazing experiences. You're doing all sorts of incredible activities, living the high life with this super, super rich family. And you don't have a single nice thing to say about your experience. You don't have a single nice thing to say to your mother, who is clearly trying to open up to you about why she left Indonesia and never went back. And all you want to say is like, you've ruined my life by forcing me to come to Indonesia for the holidays. No, you're in Indonesia. You're living the high life. You don't have a single nice thing to say about where you are, what you're doing this holiday. See it as an opportunity. Stop yelling at your mom, who's clearly going through a lot and is trying to open up to you because she hasn't been back there in 17 years, and there was clearly some tumultuous reason why she left. I mean, I will admit there are elements in this story that are really entertaining, that are really funny. The relationship and the banter between George and Charlotte can be really entertaining and funny at times, but I think she's just really set on not liking him, so she just refuses to communicate with him. Like, he's trying to get to know her and ask her questions based on what his family has gleaned from the app and everything and communicating with her, or who he thinks is her, but she like shuts down everything that he's saying and one-word answers and is not interested in talking to him and is being positioned as like sassy and bossy and badass, but the way it's coming across on the page is just rude and ungrateful. I'm gonna DNF this because I'm not gonna spend the time reading this and end up getting mad when I could be reading something that I really, really love and enjoy and I'm looking forward to. We're gonna take the bookmark out at page 148 and we're gonna find something new to read. Okay, so I don't really want to crack into the Serpent and Dove series, I don't think. Not yet, at least. So I think the next thing that I'm going to be reading is This Vicious Grace by Emily Teed. This, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful cover. It looks like it's going to be an enemies to lovers romance. It looks like it's going to be super high stakes, super swoony. There's like a magical person, a thief, outcast, killer bodyguard something. It's gonna be like a bodyguard relationship, I don't know. Her gift can save or it can kill. I love that tagline. Let's give this a go. Oh, it's been blurbed by Ayana Gray, who wrote Beasts of Prey, and I really, really liked that book, so hopefully that's a good sign. An absolute delight from cover to cover. Good to know. I'm gonna crack straight in, and hopefully this one is gonna be a book that I actually finish. Let's read this, and I will give you my thoughts hopefully when I have some really positive things to say about this read. Hey, I'm just finishing getting ready for work. It is Friday and I am going into the office today because there's some like filming and like digital team set up that I've got to do ahead of a big client project that we're working on Wednesday next week. All the prep happens today. I wouldn't usually go into the office on a Friday, but I won't lie, I'm kind of keen to go into like a completely quiet office and just knuckle down and get things done. Anyway, that is the plan of what I'm going to do today, but I just wanted to update you very, very, very quickly on two things. So the first, I went to Waterstones yesterday and I bought a book. It is Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first in the Chestnut Springs series, I think. I've got book 2, 3, and 4, but I did not find the first one when I was in Waterstones like a few weeks ago for the Rebecca Yarros event. So I jumped into Waterstones at Canary Wharf and I found this. And yeah, it's a series that I love based on the fact that I read the second one and thought it was amazing. So I'm really, really keen to do a vlog where I go back and I read the entire series, including rereading the second one again. So I'm really, really glad to finally have this copy of this book so I can do that hopefully soon, because I'm definitely in a romance mood at the moment. And the other update is that I am showing you the back of a book. I have started reading This Vicious Grace. I am 88 pages in, which it feels like I should be more because like the thickness of how far I am in like feels quite thick, but it's only 88 pages in and I'm definitely enjoying it. There isn't a whole lot happening kind of at the moment. It's definitely established the setup of, you know, this woman who keeps killing her husbands, or fiestros, I think they're called. And she needs one in order to survive because her like role in the society as a fenestra is to manifest the power of the, I think it's like fiestro or festro or fresto or something. I can't remember what they're called, but anyway, she needs one of these guys to survive, but she keeps killing them. So naturally her people are coming after her at this point because they're like, you keep killing people, maybe you're the devil. So she's just gotten to the point that is sort of at the end of the blurb, which I ran through, I think the other day, where she's hired this thief, Dante, to come and be her bodyguard because her people keep trying to kill her. I think the setup now, 88 pages in, has officially been established. I'm hoping that things really kick off from here. There's definitely been those tense moments because the people are trying to kill her. The setup of the character's been really, really good. I feel like I know her really, really well. I know her motivations. I understand just how crestfallen she is because she's done everything she can think of to make this work, and now she's like, this is my last chance, this is my last opportunity, otherwise I'm just gonna go like run away or something. The society that she's in is definitely very interesting in that like they bring in a new fenestra basically, I think every 5 years or something, they have a new one come in. So she's now in that 5th year in the role. And the reason it's 5 years is because apparently every 5 years, there's this big like war event that happens and the Fenestra is supposed to like save the day. And she's now really, really terrified because she knows this war event is coming. She doesn't know when, but she knows it's coming and she knows she's not prepared because she's killed these people that are supposed to help her defeat the sort of big bad in this war, which is kind of like a godlike being, I guess, who I cannot remember the name of. I think it's Crollo or something. There's sort of a cult-like society in place as well that's really threatening her, that's definitely kind of trying to convince the people that she is the devil and she's potentially, you know, one of Crollo's like underlings and she's trying to destroy them. So that's an interesting part of the story that's going on at the moment because that's what's creating all the tension in the book, and she can't exactly argue that she's not descended from Kroll or whatever because she's not exactly helping anyone by constantly killing all these men. There's really interesting family dynamics at play because when you become the Fenestra, you have to ditch your whole family, except she's still got a relationship with her twin brother. So it's interesting seeing that dynamic because I think there's definitely like some jealousy there because the brother, like given they're twins, he kind of like, I was like this close to being in power myself. Anyway, I'm rambling. I am going to head off to work. I'm going to keep reading this book on my way into the office, and then I'm gonna get so much stuff done today. That is my plan. I'm gonna get all the things done today. I'm gonna go do that, and I will talk to you in a little bit. Halloween, and it is officially time for me to close out this vlog because I am starting a new one today. Let's talk about this vlog. Let's talk about where we are. Let's talk about what's going on. So obviously we had 2 DNFs at the beginning of this vlog, and then I picked up this Vicious Grace. I have learnt that the author's name is actually pronounced Emily Theed. So this Vicious Grace by Emily Theed. And I gave this one 3.5 stars. So compared to the 2 DNFs, we're running pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with the fact that this got 3.5 stars. I'm going to read you my review of what I thought about this book, just my notes from it, because all in all, the general summary is that half of that like star rating is because I enjoyed the experience of reading it rather than felt particularly connected to it. But let's go through the review. So I said, whilst I wasn't particularly invested in the read, I really did enjoy this Vicious Grace. Firstly, I think the characters were interesting, but they did feel quite surface level. I don't think I fully got connected to them or the depth of everything they were struggling with until right at the very end when Dante was treated so unfairly because of who he was. I understood the feelings of loneliness and isolation that Alessa was feeling, but I didn't feel them myself through the words. I also didn't think the relationships between a lot of the characters were all that well explored, especially the Fontes, because they seemed to go from being terrified of Alessa to willing to sacrifice for her in a very brief space of time. The overall stakes of the story were hard to feel anxious about because I don't think the concept of this battle between good and evil returning every 5 years was backed up with enough context of why this whole thing started, and the process of Fenestras being selected was also very unclear. The plotline of Alessa's life being in danger because of the people in her kingdom also felt like a side plot rather than being the hook that runs throughout, but I did still enjoy the read and the way it was written, and I was definitely kept tense by the countdown that was going in each chapter and the angst in the relationship between Alessa and Dante. I'm intrigued by the rest of the series, but I don't think it will be a particularly high priority. So sorry that I was just reading my review for you rather than going through it and talking through it like I usually would in most of these sorts of reviews, but I am exhausted today. I have got a cracking headache and it is the end of this vlog, and I need to save energy for the fact that I am filming quite a few more videos today, I hope. But yeah, that's for future vlog me to talk to you about. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this vlog more than I enjoyed a lot of the books that I read in it, and do let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books that I read, what you thought of them, or just what you're reading at the moment, loving it, hating it, all that kind of thing. Come and chat to me in the comments down below. I love talking to you guys and I do my best to reply to every single comment. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do let me know by liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell all down below. It's a super easy way to help my channel grow, and I will see you lovely people in my next video. Bye!